Got it. Okay. I think we're doing this now. Great. So we're going to now kick in again. I used to say, please don't say anything stupid, but that is sort of silly because everyone's taping these things anyway. And we've got all these autopilots on there and we've got duplication of this. So I used to say that it was a private meeting. I now say it should be considered confidential, but don't say anything stupid because it does end up on the internet. Talking today with my good friend and top producer, Paul Zweben. How you doing there, baby?
I'm good.
Can't hear you. What?
Good.
Sort of good?
I am good.
Good. We're going to resort to sign language in a second. But, you know, when we were preparing for this meeting, I was telling you about some of the things that we really ought to focus on. Everyone would love to wave a magic wand and become a top producer. That's not what they're going to get out of today. What they are going to get out of today, hopefully, is a week and a life of Paul Zweben, who is a top producer. First of all, Paul, can you just share historically what's been your best year and what do you think you're going to be doing this year in GCI?
Our best year was 2021. We did, I think, 140 million in closed, and then about 20 of that 140 was pendings going into 2022. So I would say 120 is the best year that we ever had, but you know, the way we looked at it was like 140. And then this year, I think we're going to probably do about 72 to 75,000 million.
Okay. So that given how most people fallen down a bit, that's not bad.
No, we're beating the market.
Yeah. I mean, I told everyone 100 million. I hope everyone doesn't bag out of this because, you know, you let them down, but no,
the year is not over.
The year's not over. Okay. That's what I say. Don't screw this up. So in a lean year, in things where stuff is challenging, we'll get into the stuff that you do each and every single day, your mindfulness, your spirituality, your meditation, your family, photographs, social media. But on a day-to-day basis, what time are you getting up? Just structure your day for us.
So I wake up between 3 and 4:45 in the morning every day. The 3 a.m. is not because I want to. It's just I wake up and I can't go back to sleep. But basically my day really starts, like I'll answer some emails and stuff, you know, if it's at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. Like this morning, I was early, so I made French toast and bacon for the kids, and then all my wife had to do was heat it up when they woke up at 6:30. At 4:45, my alarm goes off, and then at 5 a.m., 6 days a week, I get on the 5 a.m. call, East Coast call, which is a 5-minute call. There's about 2,400 entrepreneurs, mostly real estate agents. Everyone is muted except for one person that speaks for 5 minutes. And it's like the jumpstart of my day. I'm actually speaking this Friday, and the topic is about Anheuser-Busch and how they grew this incredible company without social media. So I think that'll be fun. Once that's done, I walk the dog, and then by 5:30, I go to the gym. 5:30 to 6 a.m. period. I say, you know, I schmooze a little bit in the gym, but I do my, you know, whatever routine I want to do. 6 o'clock, I walk to Dunkin' Donuts. I get coffee, an extra large coffee for my wife, a large coffee for me, get back to the house, either do breakfast for the kids or heat up the dog food for our golden retriever, Rudy. And then the kids are up at 6:20.
Hold on,
Everybody
time
gets
out a
ready for
second.
school and work.
Did you say you go to the gym and then you go fuck it up at Dunkin' Donuts?
I didn't say fuck.
I just in my mind I made that up. I'm sorry.
I mean, I can, but I did.
Just something about Jim and Dunkin' Donuts in the same kind of paragraph.
But I only get coffee. I don't get anything else.
Okay, I'm just messing with you, my man.
I get nothing else. Okay. So then everyone's getting ready. Olivia, our 11-year-old, is stubborn. Parker, our 7-year-old, is ready to roll. And at about 7:40, I'm already sitting in front of the building with our car running, waiting for the kids to get in the car. Then drive them to school, 96th and Park. I tell Olivia to give her brother a kiss goodbye. We drive around 97th Street. Olivia gets out of the car. Then we go to 89th and Madison. I do some schmoozing with other parents on 89th and Madison. Parker gets dropped off. I bring the car back to the garage, and then I take the subway to work.
Don't gloss over the parents thing for a second here. So you're on 89th. That's where the school is, I guess.
One of them.
Is that a pit stop for business? You know, remember, I'm trying to, is that something, is there something there?
1,000,000%, 1,000,000%.
Okay.
And it's like, you know, there's so much stuff that's woven into the you know, all the class parents. I mean, we've done, so far this year, we've done a mom's night out for my son's school. We've done a dad's night out for my daughter's school. We're about to do a dad's night out for my son's school. And all three of those, we're the class presidents or people that have organized it. And, you know, if you get 15 or 20 guys, obviously I don't go to the mom's night out, but my wife does. If you get 15 or 20 people drinking at Dorian's bar on 84th and 2nd, 12 minutes into it, after one cocktail, they're talking to you about real estate.
Sure.
And, you know, we're the go-to people.
Okay. So good. So sorry to interrupt, but every time I think there's a business opportunity here, I want to hop it along.
So it is an absolute opportunity. I mean, it's I don't miss any of my kids' events. Sorry.
Just
Okay, go ahead. So just a favor, guys, if you got to realize if you have a live mic, we are in a live meeting here, so you might want to mute yourself till you're ready to ask a question. Okay, continue, Paul, please.
No, so basically everything is an opportunity. Everything.
Okay, so the moral of the story is, if you don't have kids, get kids. Pretty young kids also help. So like the older kids don't help. But on a serious note, you are building a network around those people. So would you say that if you had to divide your business up into several different buckets, kids and family, is that one? Would you consider that its own individual bucket, or are you going to loop that into something else?
It's a huge pillar. Huge pillar.
So kids are a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So great. You're on 89th Street. You got your coffee, you got your donuts, you saw the parents, you schmoozed them. You tell me how that splinters into mom's nights and dad's nights and all this stuff. What's the next thing for you?
Drive back, drop the car off at the garage, take the train, and then I'm in the office by like, 8:05, 8:10. And then depending upon the day, I check the bank accounts, I check our Amex bills, and then I follow up with everyone on our team, usually saying, where are we at with these specific deals? Do you need me to jump in or not? And then the day gets going, and it's like, I typically have anywhere from 4 to, 8 or 9 appointments a day.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. What kind of appointments are they?
Listing appointments, calling sellers for price drops, calling sellers to give them an update on the last week, calling sellers to talk to them about their open house, doing content videos, which I've committed to do 3 a day, Monday through Friday, anywhere from 7 seconds to 2 minutes. And they can be whatever I want them to be. Like, I never wake up and say, oh, I need to do one on shallots. It's like whatever comes to my head. Like, it's just, this is who I am, and, this is what it is. So, and then I, consistently do 3 gratitude texts every morning to different people that I am grateful for.
Okay, so the gratitude texts, I think I've gotten a couple gratitude texts from you, which is very sweet.
Yep.
And your social media, because you are a chef, and we haven't gotten into that yet, most people here probably know that, but you were an active chef in a previous life, now a restaurant investor in this current life. I brought something that I actually bought on my trip with Chloe. It's a seasoning that I'd love to do a video with this. It's called Special Shit. So you could take a look at that special shit from the Big Cock Ranch in California. So again, this is just the type of thing. Apparently, as much of a joke as this sounds, people say that this is remarkable seasoning. and I brought it here. I bought an extra one for you, Paul, for the next time that I see you.
I appreciate it.
So we got to try the special shit from California.
Okay.
But the point of that is this: Paul makes a video out of anything, and he and I could actually probably put something together on a grill, and people will go nuts over that because that's a story. A lot of you oftentimes say there's no stories. So going on with all this, where did these meetings come from? These listing appointments? That's what a lot of these people are wondering. And I know we had someone make a comment here.
So we were in Jamaica. We were in Jamaica last week, and when we get on the plane, it's like I don't have any internet for 5 hours. And the minute we land, I have like 2 listing possibilities. So, we get the luggage, we put the kids in the taxi. Carolyn, my wife, is like squeezed off the chair. And I'm looking at my wife, I'm like, I got to make 2 phone calls, one of which was from a mailer.
Okay.
And one of which was a past client that wants to sell.
So you get on a plane. Of course, it's the best place for any of us to be because we know all the opportunity is going to arrive when you can't service it. So 2 opportunities. One came from a mailer. We need to talk about that a little bit. And one was a past client.
Yep.
Great. You're on vacation. All the psychologists say you need to make a separation between life and business, or at least a lot of them suggest that. No, you're shaking your head no. Okay. Want to explain that in a bit? You want just
I mean, like I agree that, and I think I've talked about this before. You have to have outlets that you got to turn your brain off. It's like I box every Friday for 2 to 3 hours. If I box and look at my phone or think about a deal, I'm going to get punched in the face, right? So for those 2 to 3 hours, I'm not thinking about work. But when we're away, I mean, Carolyn did a deal while we were away. And I was like, honey, why don't you relax? And she basically told me to, F off. She's doing a deal. So, and I respect that. But
this is his wife, by the way,
just,
everyone. Okay, this is wife and business partner. Okay, good. It's a healthy marriage. I like that.
But yes, it's very healthy. But we don't like, yes, I mean, I don't look at my phone when we're swimming or, but I'm looking at my phone. I mean, it just is what it is because our customers don't care that we're in Jamaica. They don't.
Yeah. Okay. They don't care that he's in Jamaica. That's a good lesson. We're going to talk about that. Mary Boat asked, how many people are on your team? That's a good question. I was about to ask the same thing, but we got carried away here.
We have 8.
8, including you and your wife? So,
yes.
And I know that you're generating most of the revenue, you and your wife, but how much you're away now? Can the team fill in for you? Is that the purpose of that team? Explain that a little bit.
So Heather, who's sitting right next to me, has been she's our family member, but she runs the ship and she's been with us for 14 years.
Okay.
So when we go away, we usually assign 1 or 2 people from the team to help her with appointments. Because if she does it all by herself, she's going to be doing paperwork and running around and it's going to drive her crazy. So we usually assign 1 or 2 people and I pay them. Like, one guy I needed help when we were away for a week and I paid him for the week. And then another young lady who's on our team last week, I paid her per appointment, that needed to be done.
Okay. So they're not getting a cut of the deal in those instances. Got it. Okay. It's an interesting, I've always wanted to ask you that. That's pretty interesting. Guys, if you have questions, you could raise your hands and let me know. Mark Lawrence is asking, are you exhausted? That's a very good question because you got a lot more done before 8 a.m. than I think most people in this meeting, except for Victor and our Californians who are here, who are obviously up usually very early for these meetings. But are you exhausted?
I am an expert nap taker. So if I go home at 3 o'clock and I don't need to pick up the kids until 4:30, I will go to sleep from 3 to 3:30 and it'll be as close to death that I've ever been to in my life. Like that's how deep it is.
Wow. Mary's,
that's it. I mean, then I'm like ready to go again.
Mary's also asking, let's hear about the mailer. Mary's got some very simple but great questions today. What is your what does your mailer look like? How big a mailing are you sending out? How many people receive it? How much are you paying? Just let's go into that a bit.
So we have specific buildings that are on a sort of a mailer drip campaign.
Okay.
So we do 4 quarterly reports. So we take the data from the Douglas Elliman quarterly report and make it our own. It's 4-sided. They're not cheap, but we do that every quarter. Then we do a mailer to that building that says, this is what happened in your building, whether we sold it or not for the last year. And on the bottom of that mailer, we have what we've sold.
Okay.
And then sort of an add-on to that one, we do one more mailer that says, this is why you should work with us, because we've sold multiple properties in your building.
Okay, so
there's 6 mailers.
6 mailers,
6 mailers per year.
Okay.
For about 7 buildings in our immediate area. And then we do just listed, just sold cards for all of the buildings that we sell in. And we'll also cherry pick different buildings. Like if it's a condo on the Upper West that we think is a special building, we'll mail to like 3 or 4 other buildings about that listing.
Got it.
But I would say, I don't know. Our marketing budget is like 60 grand a year.
And the market,
I would say half of that
for the mailers.
For mailers and everything else, for our website, for mailers, for invites to, the dad's night out, for, whatever else the marketing company can help us with.
So that's a surprise. The longer I'm in the business, the more interesting this is, because I look at one of my colleagues, Rochelle, who's down here, who spends easily $100,000 a year on this stuff, and she's talked about this on our forum before. And $5,000 a month doesn't seem like an awful lot, considering that you've done pig roasts, you've done client appreciation type of things, you've done parties, you've done different events. Gifting. Oh, now Dina, who's sitting here, just asked, do you do any gifts? Or the strategic gifting that you're doing as well with that budget?
Yes. So, well, first of all, of that 60 grand, there's no like dinners. Like I tried to attach like a 100 grand expense when the McDonald's came over to my building and sat on the roof, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. Okay. But we had a great time. They know about
the McDonald's are very nice. We like the McDonald's,
Love them. No, but like meals, I didn't include that in marketing. That's like another 50 grand.
Okay.
A year.
Okay.
So as far as gifts are concerned, we do a lot of these custom made cutting boards that do not have our name on it. It has the family name on it. The name of the company is called
the person you're giving it to?
Yes. So let's say I sent you a cutting board. Most likely the handles would have 2 golf clubs. They would be the handles.
Okay.
And it would say the Bogen family.
Wow.
And so the company that makes them it's called Soundview Millworks. They're American made. It's about $200 and they're super quality, like super. And when we send the gifts, it's just random. So let's say I rented something on 1990th Street, 2 months ago, I'll send them a cutting board now and just say, thank you so much for your continued, belief in us. Enjoy the, beautiful cutting board for now and for the holidays.
We like that. I think that's really cool because they're never going to throw that out. Even if they don't really like it that much, you just can't. It's almost bad luck to throw out your name here.
No, but they're really beautiful, like really pretty.
I bet they are. Oh, no doubt. I think I think it's a great idea. Most people will send something with their own name on it, but you're sending it highly personalized, and depending upon who it is, a couple $100 investment could be very good. I'm looking at from Karina Pacific in Los Angeles. I think she's got a great last name for living in Los Angeles. Hi, good lookings. An appointment meaning slash listing slash showings. What does an appointment mean? I think we were trying
It's a really good question. I would say listings. I would say bringing out buyers. I would say showing our listings. So listing appointments, listing showings, bringing out buyers, and then making calls and, scheduled calls and talking to, both buyers and sellers.
Okay.
But it's a great question. Like,
it
it's
is
a
great.
really good question.
It is a great question. Well, Karina's an excellent agent. I'm supposed to be having lunch with her on Friday in California, so I'm looking forward to that. Harry Moore in DC asked, do you get any help on marketing from partners? Yeah, what kind of support do you get on that?
Do you mean like attorneys and stuff, Harry?
Yeah, Harry, you could unmute and say hi.
Hi. Yes, I was just wondering if you get any, sort of support on, because that seems like a really low number for mailing what are probably a lot of very high quality pieces.
So the reason why I don't really ask for support from attorneys and stuff is then I feel like I owe them. So we do, just straight up, no, we don't.
Okay. Well, then
I have done things in the past where I get people together at a bar and might have an attorney show up and he'll, cover a couple $100 of the bill. But it's never like, oh, here's, Sander Kraus, my favorite attorney, because then people feel like I'm shoving it down their throat.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. It's, I'm still looking for, sorry, we didn't finish your day yet. So let's continue unless we kind of ended on nap time with Victor, who really liked the nap time part of it.
I mean, it all depends. It's like, there's days where I go and pick up the kids from school, and when I pick up my son, and Edmund, you and I have talked about this. There's this gorgeous church on Fifth Avenue between 89th and 90th. I am not Catholic. I am not Protestant. I am a Jewish boy from New Jersey. And I walk into that church and I sit down and I meditate for like 15 minutes. And it's so incredible because it's like this energy is there and nobody's like making any noise. And it's just a really good thing. Then I go pick up my son. I talk to the security guards who know everything about every family. And, it's like today my wife's picking up Parker and then has like an hour and a half in between picking up our daughter. And I'm like, honey, take him on a play date. It's business also, because mostly the parents are going to go and you're going to talk to the parents and they're going to be like, how's the market?
Yeah. We should probably call this something like lifestyle related marketing or some type, because I see it over and over again. For those that haven't been in the meetings in the past, I've mentioned this more than once. A good friend of mine has been sober for 31 years. He goes to AA multiple times a week, and every one of his deals comes from the program, comes from Alcoholics Anonymous. He would never, ever, ever volunteer anyone's name from there unless they're open about their sobriety. But it's interesting, and if you break that down, it's kind of the same thing as Paul's doing with the kids. It is a community. It is a community of people. Same thing with this woman who lives at in my community, who's almost 80 and has 100,000 followers on Facebook. There's no magic to it. She's a widow. She started a bereavement group. And that's a community. Yep. She also happens to not be using it for selling, which is fine. I mean, but I'm saying to all of you, what is your muse? Paul's figured that out, and he's consistently done very, very well with those things. Sherry Young, I forgot to have kids. That's actually very funny. Well, we
have mine.
Yeah, maybe there's always alcoholism.
Right.
All joking aside, though, there are different communities that people become a part of. What else, Paul? What are the thoughts can you share with this? This is flying right.
I mean, look, it's like everything is an opportunity. My wife, unfortunately, just lost her biological dad, and it was really hard on her. And I know she needs a group. and, you know, a bereavement group. And I was like, and maybe I'm going to hell for this, but I was like, honey, you should join an Upper East Side bereavement group. And she was like, why? I'm like, because there's opportunity.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm sorry, like, I know that may be horrible, but like everything is an opportunity. It's like, you know, you schmooze with people on the subway, not, you know, it's a very delicate way of schmoozing on the subway,
Yeah.
but like if you're in a bar, you're talking about real estate. If you're at, you know, a charity event, you're talking about real estate. If you're at picking up your kids, you're talking about real estate. If you're doing a dad's hanging out, you're talking about real estate. It's like, you know, I got real estate on my mind.
Yeah, you know what? Just remind me not to have you come to my funeral. You know, oh, he's such a nice guy with a beautiful 4,300 square foot, 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath home on a golf course. You know, that
is it really that big?
4,300 feet? Yeah, when you get outside of New York, it's not considered that huge, by the way.
Can you send me specifics so I can put it into my follow-up bus?
No, I actually no, sorry. Mark Lawrence has a question for us. Mark, please go ahead and speak.
Question, comment, more of a commentary. I think what Paul does extremely well is he's genuine, he's himself, and he connects with people, you know, and has genuine conversations, shows that he's knowledgeable, and he spreads himself, you know, around a lot.
Yep.
And every opportunity that he's out, you know, when you might think I'm just going here to do you know, drop off my kids or this and that, he sees the opportunity really in everything that he does and takes, you know, advantage of it, but not in a salesy way, in a genuine way. So, and I think that works great for him. I think, you know, I share some similarities in that, you know, that if you know, and I'm sure he's not just saying, I sell real estate when he's dropping off his kids, you know, it's what do you do? And there's a reciprocality to it. There's a genuineness in the exchange. And I think that's probably what serves him really well,
and
from what I've learned about Paul.
As a side note, I was doing a presentation in Long Island a few weeks ago, and Mark showed up to the Douglas Elliman office, and the manager was like, who are you? He goes, oh, I'm Mark Lawrence. I'm here to see Paul present. So like, that's incredible. And it was just like such a nice thing. And there was a great group of people, but Mark just showed up at the office and was like, let's hear you speak. It was cool.
Yeah. I think all of this is great stuff. I think it gives great insights. I want to just say also, Paul has consistently been a top producer. You know, yes, it's living in Florida, we deal with death. That is a reality of the business. It has to be. I mean, it's just one of those things that it's something that death, financial ruin, divorce, job changes, all of these things really do play in. And it's not a symptom of a disease. If anyone feels guilty about getting business in that way, here's what you could do. Give to your church, your synagogue, some type of thing. If you really feel as though somehow you're reaping the benefit off of someone else's death, demise, financial ruin, then why don't you turn that around and do something with it instead of, you know, because here's the thing, somebody's going to get the deal. Hate to break it to you. Somebody's going to get the deal. It may as well be you. And if you're able to actually do that, if you feel too guilty about it, look, I had, when my mom passed away, oh my God, it's 12 years ago, I had no less than 6 agents call me off the obituary. That was off New York City. People were actually reading the newspaper back then. Okay, to the younger people here, that's a large paper thing that has news in it. It's not like the internet, it's actual physical. I'm joking, most of you know what a newspaper is.
Yep.
But something that I can't do. It's part of the reason why I started a group like this. I just don't have it in me to call an obituary. I just don't. But I do see the advantage of networking in situations like that. And I don't think making a living is a symptom of a disease. Indeed, if you do, if you do have a problem with trying to network that way, you might want to try and delve into a strategy for being able to make that work out. I also know, Paul, you work with, you're a regular here with REIGNation and you're a subscribed member here, which is great. You also have at least 2 other coaches. I indeed have my own coach. How important has coaching been in your growth? Can you share that?
Sure. So it was interesting. I was going to get the car this morning, and the seasons are starting to change in New York, and it's starting to get chilly. And in my head, I'm like, man, this is the time where if I don't hold on, I'm going to fall off the path.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's because it gets darker earlier, or maybe I'm just getting too old and I don't like the cold, but this is typically a tough time for me. And in my head, I'm like, I need both of my coaches to really make sure that I don't fall off. I got to keep going to the gym 4 to 6 times a week, because if I don't, the cold weather and not going to gym will fuck me up. I'm sorry to say. But I think that they're incredibly important. They're two very, very different people. One is Gary Parks from Long Island, who is like a raw, gritty Jewish guy from Long Island that'll call me on my stuff. And the other one is a Tom Ferry, coach who will also call on me on my stuff, but is also very maternal. So the two of them know me inside and out. I've been working with one of them for like 9 years and the other one for 3 years. And they help.
Sure. Look,
They
this
really
is a
help.
complex life. There's no shame in doing this. I've got my coach. I've got my own. People have been very happy with coming here and being able to meet with us and do one-on-one coaching as well. Look at it this way. And I made a quick observation, which I think is a great analogy. My daughter drives an SUV. Actually, all of us drive SUVs. My daughter has an SUV that is a Hyundai SUV. I don't know the exact model because I'm forgetting it now, probably because I'm senior here. Huh?
Santa Fe.
Maybe something like that. She's got a Hyundai, and it's a lot cheaper than my car, which is a Mercedes. They're both SUVs. They both get you from place to place. Our car's never in the shop. My car's been in the shop quite a bit. Now, if you look at yourselves as a Mercedes and not a Hyundai is in the shop twice as much as a Mercedes in the shop many, many more times than a Hyundai will be. I'm still happier having that Mercedes. I think you need to look at yourself as a salesperson as the Mercedes, that you need to be in the shop. The shop is the coaching. It is stuff like this. It's being able to really take true focus on business and to be able to grow this way. Okay, we've got a few more minutes here. Obviously, we've got our next meeting is on Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope a lot of you could make it to that. What are the thoughts or questions that we have? I will be doing my best with my autopilot to transcribe this meeting into actual bullet points that you can use if anybody wants that. And I hope you do. But what are the questions do we have right now? The only bad question is the one that goes unasked. So please, if any of you have an idea, you could either raise your hand or shout it out, I suppose, politely.
Hi, guys.
Oh,
Hi.
okay, we got Karina Pacific from Los Angeles. Hey, Karina Pacific.
Good. Hi, Paul. I love
Karina.
all your postings and what you do. What do you think is your most successful form of, I guess, business? Like what's been just talking with the parents at school or the mailers, or what has brought you more?
Good question.
Or
I mean, I would say it's a bunch. I would say one is definitely Facebook has given me a lot of leads. And I know that 20-somethings are not on Facebook at this point, but they're not my market. I would say YouTube and just Google searches have helped us a lot with business. The mailers are consistent, past clients, and the schools.
Okay.
Facebook, that's interesting. Okay.
Is there anything that head and shoulders above that? So here's what if I don't want to get up at 4 a.m? What if I want to still make some money here and I don't have like young kids anymore? And I'm gonna, can you give us maybe a little formula here?
Yeah.
Or help us out here.
Let's say you hang up, we finish this and you're like, God damn it, I'm going to do one video every single day, right?
Okay.
Put in your calendar. Just put in your calendar and do not drag it to the next day until it's complete. So it doesn't have to be at 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. Just put in your calendar, and it's like, you know, like for us on the east, if you're going to the east side and you work on the and you live on the west side, and you have an appointment 2 hours in between, you just have an extra hour or 90 minutes to do a video. Like yesterday, I did a video in Carl Schultz Park, which is on the east side. And I
Yeah.
was like, if you bought 45 East End, apartment 2B, this would be your backyard. It took me 4 minutes to do, literally 4 minutes. So just put everything that you want to do in your day. No, you do not have to get up at 4:45 in the morning. There's a lot of people that do, but you don't. But like, put that in your day. Put working out. If you're going to work out 4 days a week, put it in your calendar and hold yourself accountable. I have an accountability gym partner that I met through the 5 a.m. club. He works in Washington, D.C. We've never met in person. Every day we tell each other if we went to the gym or not.
Okay.
And it's great.
Does he know anyone who needs a co-op?
A co-op?
Does he?
Not yet, but he
Has he
will.
been a lead source for you?
He will not yet, but he will.
Okay, I'm sure.
He will.
I'm sure that's basically all of you will eventually meet or hire Paul.
Thank you.
You know, that's the thing. Paul, last thing on my end, we've got, you know, you haven't done it in a while. And I don't know why it bothers me, because I've never been to this, but you famously had a pig roast where you slaughtered this beautiful animal and then put it on a pit and turned it around and cooked it and ate it. Sorry, I needed to make it a little bit more gruesome here. But on a serious note, you've had these events, several hundred people show up. You did. When are you doing that again?
So I'll give you the 1 minute elevator pig roast pitch.
Okay.
My wife and I, we have a house upstate New York. We went to this beautiful auction. It was an event to raise money for kids, and they auctioned off a pig. And the next morning I woke up and I was in the kitchen making breakfast. My wife was in the bathroom, and I said, honey, did I buy a pig last night? And she was like, yeah. So we bought like a 350-pound pig, and we decided to do this huge pig roast. I did not kill it, but we had a guy named Squeaks Pig cook the pig, and it was really unbelievable. So I don't know when we're doing it again, but we are doing something for Christmas and Hanukkah that I think is going to be unbelievable. We have hired Santa, Mrs. Claus, and an elf.
Okay.
We're having our decorator build this amazing chair for Santa to sit in our apartment. And then we're inviting like 150 families to come and take photos with Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elf. And then my buddy, who I cooked with 33 years ago at the River Cafe, owns a pizza company, and he's going to make pizzas outside of the building where we're going to serve all the kids, the parents, and we're going to invite the entire building for a pizza party. So that's our next big event.
Okay. And where's our invitation?
I'll send it to you when I get it. It's December 1st. And
I'm just messing with you,
invites.
Paul. I'm just messing with you, Paul.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. No, these are great things. I mean, Paul, like me, is a consultative salesman. He's done extremely well. I highly suggest you guys connect with him. Paul, can you throw up in the chat here your social media? I think your preferred social media. I know Hungry Domain is one, right?
Well, hold on.
Okay, so while Paul does that, any questions out of the gallery here? Anybody have Elka? You could hop in if you want, or Marlene, Jane, anybody? Heather, I know you're right near Paul. Okay, Paul Zweben on YouTube. The Zweben team on TikTok. Paul Zweben on Facebook. So if you can follow him, I encourage you to follow each other, share, collaborate. You know. And all of you should know this meeting is agency agnostic. It's very important. The Migdals are not with Douglas Elliman, and they've become pretty close with Paul, which is great. So I don't look, I have always said we are only one management away from moving companies. I love my company. I love my manager. I love who we're here. But at the end of the day, you are an army of one. That's why this meeting exists, to try and give you some perspective and to help you out. So, okay, so we got all the different spots. You should definitely follow Paul. Any other questions before we finish up? I know we all have a busy day. This is a quick lunch here. Okay,
Paul, what
go ahead.
Miller service do you use, Paul?
Electronic mail goes through MailChimp, and then we have a company called All In Reach who's our marketing team, and they send it out. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, it's worth finding out. Karina, if you need resources, we could talk about that offline as well. I've got a pretty good mailer too. Okay, guys, Maria Babayev, you've been sitting quietly in the background there. Everyone should know Maria Babayev at some point. She's a top producer as well, who I had the pleasure of seeing in Florida just last week, which was great. 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. But in the meantime, I wanted to say thank you all. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming today and sharing your knowledge. You've always been a great producer and a good friend. And
Thank you.
Come on down when you're depressed from the cold. You know, I'd love to go hang out at the beach or do something, you know, go.
It's a real thing.
100%. That's why I moved here.
It's a real thing.
I picked up and left. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Of course. I get it. I think it is a real thing. And I used to ski. I used to love, you know, the winter, but that's, you know, I've become,
I got a really nice fit, so I'll keep them warm.
I've become soft and, you know, and cuddly, I guess, you know.
I get it. I get it.
Anyway, well, look, guys, it's really great to see everyone. Paul, thank you so much. We don't have Terry to sing us out today. I wish we did, but I want to thank everyone for coming. Marlene brought the dog. Finally, Marlene, can you unmute yourself and just say hi with the dog? Everyone gets a free shout out if they bring a dog.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Paul.
Hi, Marlene.
Hey,
Okay. Pretty cute.
Thank you.
Pretty cute.
Thank you.
That does it. So just keep that in mind. If you come back to the meeting, bring a dog, you'll get a free shout out. That's kind of my thing. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming. I hope all of you could make it on Wednesday. The next mailer is going to go out soon, and I look forward to seeing you next time on REIGNation. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.